Go for takeoff. So she's calmed down now. It's actually a little diesel air heater. Same principle as a lorry cab heater. Just built into a little cabinet with a self-contained fuel tank. Run it off a power supply. There are sort of advantages, disadvantages to it, but I was planning on probably installing it down in there, past where that old paraffin heater is. And then the main bit of it will be on the outside with the exhaust going out through the wall. But if it works in here, then I may get another one for the train room, and just have everything outside in a little separate housing, and then just use jerry cans full of kerosene and just swap them over as they need. Advantage being, obviously, they're cheaper to run than 3-5 kilowatt electric heater would be. So we're sort of trialling this one at about £90. You don't have to buy anything else with it. I bought a few other bits to sort of modify it, but there's a housing you can get, a rubber housing to put around the fuel pump just to top, try and limit the slight little ticking noise you can hear, which is the mechanical pump that they use. But we want to talk about trains, not heaters, don't we? So we can see the little picture inserts here. I've been repairing some more little wagons and bargains. The cargo wagon just had a snapped drawbar, which unfortunately was glued in, so we've just used a cable wrap, one of those little plastic coated wire cable wraps for now, which I don't want it to be too rigid, because if there's any problems it will give way and come apart rather than damage anything else. And the rail freight Lima wagons, the red hooded wagons, were an unusual bargain to find on eBay at the minute. There's not much in the way of bargains, and the only thing wrong with them, obviously, other than not being boxed, was one's got a buffer missing, as you can see in the middle one in the picture shot. So once again, they don't make spares for these anymore, so I managed to have enough items to order from Peter's Spares to make it worthwhile ordering from him, seeing as his postage is far from fair. And I bought a little set of, I think they were Lima Class 92. They were brass buffers on a little spigot spur. So they just needed sort of 10-15 minutes filing them down to shape, and then gluing into place, and just a little bit of Humbrol matte black to match it in with the others. So I've been off work for about 2 months on the sick at the moment, and I contacted a guy who's got a cabinet, sells train items. At work he had some items in the cabinet, and obviously me not being there means I couldn't get them. So I spoke to him, and he said he would sort of get them out of his cabinet, and I could go around and pick them up, which I duly did. And I sort of spoke to him about a few other bits and pieces I'm after, any broken Mark II coaches, because I need a bogie for one of those, and just something to practice a little bit of airbrushing on. So a couple of old rough wagons would sort of do if he'd got anything kicking about. And a long while ago he did promise me some track, because he buys the food layouts, takes them apart, ends up with the track, and it's too big to sell in the cabinet at work. So he said, pop down and see what you want. So he had a huge Christmas case, one of these plastic cases for keeping your Christmas tree in, full of, well, most of it is Peco Flex Track I'll show you the shot now. So we had about a pile of flex track there, as you can see, and something else with it as well, which you can see in this shot. My two of my dogs are inspecting the track. It's an exhibition railway light, which you may, if you're on MRYCG, you'd have seen me post about it, because the reason being is he gave me the track and the exhibition layout, and I mean gave me them, and sort of going through all the track and sorting it out. I had nearly a full box of the concrete sleeper and probably about 3.5, 4 boxes of equivalent, just a normal, you know, nickel silver flexi. It went about just over 200 foot, and I was sort of totally bowled over, because I mean the guy knows what it's worth. You know, he uses eBay, he knows what the stuff is making, which is why I bring you into the shot now of back in the brewery. Hopefully the heat is not too noisy. Of the, well, I would say little model railway, but it's not little. I can't actually, unfortunately, get it in and use it. The corner sections are all there. There's 4 of those. So obviously you join 2 each end, and they clip in with sort of suitcase style clamps, and then you've got male and female locating pins that go in the ends. Here, as I can't see very well, it's a bit dark here. But yeah, he gave me this guy's layout. He got it off him, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I think there was a bit of a falling out somewhere along the line with clubs and things, so they sort of just sat, and he gave it to him along with the rolling stock. He sold the rolling stock, made his money, and he didn't want this. It's just sitting in his garage, taking up room. He said, you can have it. So I've inherited a full model railway layout of exhibition sort of modular form, with this folds in, as you probably noticed in those first little pictures. Here's a bifolder. You can see the joints across there, and it's quite a nice little thing. It seems a shame really not to be able to use it or sort of get it back. There's a few bits, wiring broke, and not so much here, but the jointing surfaces, you know, there's bent rails that would need sections changed, and it would want a little bit of TLC, and you know, it's delaminating, it's all coming unglued, and you know, it's been in garages damp for God knows how long. But I think it's about 10 foot. Interesting little way of doing the points. They've routed out the diagram, and then inside the recesses they've rebaited. And you can just see on the tip of my mucky fingernail, whoop, I'm gone out of focus there, you'll just see a little wire exposed. So they've just got a banana plug, and they just rub it in, and activates the points. There's another little hidden switch here, just a momentary contact. Not quite sure what the purpose of that was, but we've got I think that's a double crossover. There the cable comes off of this to that, and then goes to this section. So whether it's just to momentarily supply current to this section when it's being isolated by the point, who knows. But we've got wire points, express points. Looks all pico. And I'll get down to the station level, which again, you know, it's showing its signs of transit use. In a little bit tired, but I'm sure I can make reuse of some of the items there, like the little boxes for the station now, and I think they've got a little LED that's hooked up underneath the board. I'll flip it over. Then we've got some signs on the back wall there. which hopefully you might be able to peel those off and save them for reuse. Various little platform accessories. I've took all the people off that were still left, and doubtless there were more, but we've got lost in the transit of time. But yeah, there's sort of glazing pieces for the canopy, and they're quite interesting. Then what he's done is put like a brass wire underneath the truss work and then soldered the bulbs, which gives you an indication of how old this might be. They're still using bulbs and not LEDs. So they're just soldered on spans. Not a new idea, but just saves having wires hanging everywhere. And they've just took the live and neutral feeds off the hanging wire. You can see across there. A little bit underexposed here, but small signage on the back wall. Some interesting little piers. I don't know where they're from. Possibly Doll's House or something. They look like they're little pieces of turned timber. And canopy fronts. That could be useful as well, because that sort of matches the style of the Lynn station as it once was, and the old Hornby cast metal stanchions are the same pattern. So yeah, they'll get reused in the new Lynn station build at some stage. And the other side is it looks like they've butchered some points, because they haven't got the original tie bars. They've got a little piece of plastic or something, and they've actually rigged these up to a rod mechanism. Yeah, so the blue point bar moves that one, and where we got? Where's that one? What's up here? The yellow one, and then this one here, which I don't know how they'll reintegrate if I get to use those ones again, and try and salvage the point and use it again, or might just find its way in the fiddle yard or the spares box. But we've got the same arrangement down the far end as well. Another set of levers and points to operate underneath. And of course, every layout's got to have a tunnel, hasn't it? But yeah, there's a few bits I can salvage. Seems a shame to tear it apart, but it's just, as it is, too big for my space in here. I can barely use the 6x4 that you've seen me previously. I'll try and tilt this on its side without destroying it. But we've got point motors we can salvage as well, and also we've got LEDs and resistors, connecting strips. There's a few bits, and these sockets which join the sections to keep the current going around the full circuit of the rails. And it looks like it's been done on fibre or Sandela board, so it's nice and lightweight. So who knows, I might just strip it back down to its shell and then pass it on to someone else. I don't think I'll ever be building an exhibition layout and doing the tour circuit even. That's not going to be happening in my future, unfortunately. So we scored quite well. I was literally gobsmacked to well, I mean, I don't know, what would you pay for it? 100 quid, 150 quid. I would have probably happily bought it. Some of the track I can hopefully salvage. It doesn't look to be pinned down in too many places, and it doesn't look like it's going to take too much effort to get it up. It's all the fish plates have been soldered, so I might have to cut through them and spend a little bit of time. Some people would say, well, just buy a new track. It's too much time and effort, but unfortunately my budget doesn't stretch to being that flippant with buying stuff in model railway. Certainly not with the exponential cost it seems to be going up at a weekly rate, with the ludicrous amount people are spending on stuff on eBay, even second hand. Certainly for those people that are on 80% of their wages on lockdown, it doesn't seem to have affected their spending power. At £96 a week on sick pay doesn't make you quite that generous with your bidding on eBay, so I have to sniff around the bargains. So that's this little section in my brewery stroke, well, can't call it a layout room, can you, but it's all we've got for now. So I daren't run anything on it because I might lose me bloody locos off the end. My other thing might be very basic oval, but at least it's a continual circuit. But yeah, when I'm in the right frame of mind, I might start the tedious task of the salvage operation, shall we say. See what we can bag up, box up on this little beauty. I think the platform is just a lump of wood screwed literally, you know. Probably had a little scenic item. There we go, look, can't see the screw now, the chair's in the way. But yeah, it's a bit Heath Robinson, but you can't knock a gift horse in the mouth, as they say. So hopefully this hasn't been too long, too boring and too noisy with a diesel 90 blowing in the room to try and warm it up a little bit, which, oh yeah, it was 6.7 when I came in, it's now a balmy 9.9 degrees and rising. But not the end of the show, folks. We will go over to the Studio 2 for a live sound update. Yeah, so we're back in the studio, or as I call it, the man cave stroke office. So, my little MP3 boards. I have also, since the last segment, you'll notice the flower boxes are no longer on the station. Well, the station's no longer on the layout, but yeah, they all work. But the little MP3 unit for Mark at Eastport, well, slightly non-related, I bought these little speakers. You can get a pair of them for well, as I'm looking at the ad now, they're £3.12 for free shipping, so you're just going to have the VAT to go on top. And as you can see, they're not going to take up a lot of room in the loco, and I've just hooked it up, because normally I have this one that's come out of a not a laptop, computer monitor. That's quite a nice one. They are destined for, well, I've got a pair of them, but at least one's going to end up in my Class 40, because there's plenty of room in that being a TTS model. But this little thing just runs off a phone charger, hence the little micro USB lead. I think that jack plug there is for headphones or a speaker. That's the normal sort of positive and neutral for your speaker. Hopefully I haven't broke the wire. I just remember. From that little speaker, that's quite impressive. It's not full volume, but if I just try and get the other one on there. Unsuccessfully. Keep bending the bloody wire. So Overdriving them a bit there. Just back to one. I was quite impressed with them for the size and money, but my main reason for to click through the tracks here, I've got a couple of royalty free songs on here, so I know when I've got to the end of the list. I think these are all class 37 sound files, but I've got some on here for Mark, which I think this might be one. No, that's another train. That's definitely another train. Keep tabbing through them. What I've done is I've added the sound files you wanted onto the end of this because I've only got the one memory card at the minute. But here we are. Bit of ambience down at Eastport. There's a few tracks on there. You get a little bit of background noise from stationary boats passing, jackdaws. Platform announcement. Still gives you that background noise effect without being specific on time or location. Then back to another shoreline one. So that should could give you a little bit of sound effects if you want it. Just got to get hold of another card. Right, that's all for this segment. I'll just finish you off with a little modelling tip. So, I quite like the idea of these little 3D printed magnetic corner clamps. I don't like the price. So I tried to come up with a few toolbox alternatives. I don't quite know why they're the price they are for the sake of a couple of cheap neodymium magnets glued into a piece of 3D printed angle, but it is what it is. But if you ever put posts in your garden, knock them in, these are quite a handy little tool. They're plastic. They've got very sort of thin, low power magnets. They've got little lines on here, a couple of spirit levels, but they're ideal as a corner base for building a model. They're not too expensive. And here in my little Hornby box, a while back I bought from War Game Models the semi-relief, low relief warehousing unit, which comes with various little decals and signage. So I bought a pair of them because I think he was doing a deal at the time, or I got an eBay offer. So what you have is a front. Let's get rid of that so I can give a demonstration. And a little corner piece. That's the depth of the building. So that goes like that. But my little board here, I bought this magnetic dry wipe board from eBay. I think it was £3.45. It was less than £4 delivered. And as you can see, it's magnetic. So it's not as good as a piece of tin, but I don't quite know what they do with it. But it does give you a sort of relatively easy wipe, clean surface. But it's an A4 format. So it's not really quite big enough for something this size. But again, going back to these 3D printed magnetic corner clampy things, which I quite like the idea, but I don't like the 20 quid, 15, 20 quid they are. Now, doing my own work and welding and everything else, these come in quite handy. These are Welders magnetic corner clamps. So they give you 45 and 90 degrees on the bends there, and as you can see, obviously on a magnetic surface they'll stand upright at 90 degrees. So you can now, as long as you get your magnets around the right way so they don't repel one another, use that as a clamp. A set of 4 of these on eBay. Can't remember the seller, but he was in Peterborough. He was the cheapest on eBay, even cheaper than getting them from China. And they were a £5. So, and you get a set of 4. So you can do your corner, or do 2 corners if you've got a bigger sheet. This is not ideal because it's not big enough, but it's a cheap alternative, less than 10 quid. For a set of magnetic clamps and a little whiteboard. Now, that's not really big enough. So, what did I have in my shed? My old sign. Yes, well, this is Tony Martin territory round here, so we don't send the burglars on holidays round this way. But as you can see, it's a little bit faded, sitting in the sunlight. But if we turn it that way round, now alternatively, if you haven't got a sign that tells you your trespassers are going to get shot, you could use a oven tray, but they stick a bit better on this. Like so, and the same thing. Again, it still isn't big enough, but it's bigger than the other little effort. You can go diagonally to get around that if you really want to split hairs. And hopefully this is all in shot. No, my luck it's not. But yeah, so dab of glue, clamp it. Job's a good one. So we're going to be going for another set of the little adjustable ones. So again, I think they're about 5-6 quid. 15 pound for a model making magnetic workbench. I don't know what you'd call it. It's not a new idea. I think Prozis, or one of the US companies, I did see it on one of the YouTube channels, and it was sort of, I don't know, a foot square and came with some square magnetic blocks. I thought, bloody hell, that's a good idea. Can't be too expensive. Magnets and a piece of tin. Well, if you could find it in the UK, the only stockists that didn't have any stock, it was 30 quid, 30, 40 pounds. sort of a bit expensive. Wasn't I think it was about $39–40 in the US, but quite where they think a piece of tin and 15 magnets are worth $40, I don't know, but yeah, cheap alternative. Welding magnet clamps, biscuit tin, baking tray, or a warning sign, and you get a cheap alternative to an expensive solution. Right, I think that's about it for this week, month, year, whatever. Who knows when the next update will be. So, bid you all farewell, and give us a shout, Mark, if you want one of the little sound effect gizmos. Rightio, toodly pips.